Our patient here is 22 years old. He's 5'6" and 165. His activity level is high. So our patient's cardiovascular risk is low. He does not know his cholesterol levels, so that's assumed as a risk, but everything else is in good range. Our patient's resting vitals are 48 beats per minute for heart rate and 108/58 for blood pressure. And being 22 years old, his heart rate max is predicted to be 193. Our patient also shows no signs or symptoms and is at low risk. So this means that we can begin our exercise test. So before the test, our patient was adjusted for the bike, which means the bike seat was set about hip height at the level of the greater trochanter, and the knee when the foot is at the bottom of the rotation should not be more than 5 to 10 degrees flexion. So we've had AJ here warming up for about 2 to 3 minutes at 75 watts and 60 RPM, so we're going to bump him up to 125 watts. So we're going to be measuring his heart rate, blood pressure, and RPE every 2 to 3 minutes, and our goal is to get him into his submax range, which is about 60 to 85% of his max heart rate, and those numbers would be between 116 and 164. So we're going to go ahead and wait 2 minutes. Okay, so about 2 minutes has gone by, so I'm going to take his heart rate first. And what would you say your RPE is?
Right now, about 12.
So I take his heart rate for about 30 seconds, and I can double that. Okay, that's good. His heart rate is about 127. So now we're going to take his blood pressure. That for me. So our patient's heart rate for our patient's blood pressure is about 130/60, which is as expected for that level. Since we are in that submax range now, we're going to wait till minutes 5 and 6 in order to measure his steady state heart rate, blood pressure, and RPE. So at this point, we would terminate the exercise test if he was showing any adverse signs or symptoms, or if he requested to stop. But as of right now, we're doing good. So now we're 5 minutes in. I'm going to take his heart rate again. You can just relax there. What would you say your RPE is?
About 13.
Relax. So our patient's heart rate is about 132. And now we're going to take blood pressure. Good. So our patient's blood pressure is about 150/68, which is good. And so now that we're at minute 6, I'm taking his heart rate again, just to make sure it's within 5 beats per minute, to make sure we're at steady state. Okay, that heart rate is at 134. So now that we have determined he's at steady state, we're going to bump him back down to 75 to have him cool down. So he's going to be cooling down for about 3 to 5 minutes. We're going to be taking his heart rate, blood pressure every 2 to 3 minutes to make sure his vitals are going, his heart rate and blood pressure are going down. We're also going to take his heart rate and blood pressure at the end of his cool down to make sure he's around a little over maybe 10% of his resting, and then that's when we know it's okay to let him go.